What's up, everybody? We back in this thing one more time, man. To let that be known. There's a lot going on, man. The feds got the streets hot. But we here to talk about it, man. We're here to talk about it, man. Here's the co-host.
Hey, what's going on, fam? It's your boy John. Ready to grab your system to drink. Sit back, relax, and let that be known. Reactions. What's going on, fam?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. Man, we had to tap in. Man. For sure. We had to tap in. The streets, like I said, man, the streets been hot, man. The feds, man, they've been on a roll. Man, if you out here doing dirt, man, I advise you to stop, man. The feds, y'all need to lay low. The feds has been hot, man. And tapping into this, man. We're gonna talk about, what's going on in Cali with BigU, government name Eugene Henley, and they just picked him up, man. Him, and I heard it was close to 47 others in a RICO indictment. And he's been caught up, man. They got him on from murder to extortion to robbery and a list of other accusations that they got him that's been played, that's played the Rollin 60s. Some of them was Rollin 60s, a lot of them was just civilians, which was shocking. I didn't know it was gonna be that many civilians. And when you have that many civilians on your case and you're a gangster, you're going to jail. Somebody tell him. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. Somebody tell him. BigU. Ooh-wee.
We'll make the deal first.
Boy. And I heard they was already talking. Like I said, it's a whole host of civilians on this case. Like a lot of people who aren't quote unquote gangsters or thugs. Like the feds start throwing their time around, man, telling you 30, 40 years. And what's shocking, there's no youngsters on the case. All these people are 30 and above. Who's gonna go sit down for 40 years? This not like youngsters who wear it like a badge of honor. Like some youngsters wear it as a badge of honor. I'm gonna go to jail and I'm gonna do my time. I'm not gonna snitch, and everybody gonna love me for it. I grabbed one lady. She like, what you want to know? Yeah, he is stored. Yeah, what did you want to know? And from what I've heard from the indictment, and we're gonna play a video. From what I've heard from it, is they've been tracking him since like 2021, 2022, and the feds just been collecting data and evidence. They've been knowing that he was extorting, and from what I've heard is they was giving one of the businesses that he was extorting, the feds was giving the business the money so he can go extort, so they can be able to have evidence on it. He was strong arming this guy, and he was strong arming him so much to the guy was like, almost ready to go out of business because he couldn't keep it up. But also, Big U's telling him, "Nah, you're gonna stay in business." This is allegedly is what was being said. And so the feds stepped in and say, "We'll give you the money, just stay in the play." So Big U allegedly didn't know he was actually taking the feds' money. Every time he was talking to the individual that he was extorting, the feds was in on it. So they got calls and text messages, and you got their money. And you did a bunch of dirt with civilians. You going to jail, man. There is no honor amongst thieves. What's the first rule of humanity? Self-preservation. Is looking out for self. How can I be all right? Yeah, you want everybody else to be all right in the grand scheme of things, but how can I be all right? If it's 20 people need their rent paid, you want to pay yours first, and then we'll worry about their rent. How can we get theirs paid? That's self-preservation. Your child go to school. Yeah, you worry about the other kids, but I'm worried about my child first. Their safety, their learning. That's self-preservation. You get locked up or picked up by the feds, you're worried about what are y'all offering me? Yeah, I would like for all of us to go home, but the way this is looking, it's not gonna happen.
I'm never gonna be there.
Like that's just not gonna happen. Man, John, what you got to say about this before we get into that video, man?
It's always a saying, and it continues to ring true. Old fools used to be young fools.
For sure.
And this is a clear case of a young fool who's now 58 years old. So he's looking 60 in the face, being an old fool. And so now you're caught up with a RICO case, which is hard. You have a 2% chance, or less than a 2% chance, of beating. And under that RICO, so they have extortion, as Dan said, human trafficking, and as if you know the way they've been pounded down on that lately, that's big. Fraud, and then of course, in connection with organizing the murder of or deletion of Nipsey Hussle. So all that falling under the RICO.
And also the murder of the young man in Nevada.
Oh, and Nevada as well.
They found his DNA under the young man's
fingernails. So you have that, and so the other two conspirators, well, it's more than that, but two that I'm mentioning here. One is 59, then the other is 50. These are not young men by no stretch of the imagination, and out here acting and moving like this.
Well, BigU is still moving like he's in the 90s. Like there's no camera,
like
there's
no technology, none of that, no DNA. He's just moving like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And
they asked him about the young man in Nevada. BigU told him, I ain't seen him in about a year. Like, man, the fans like, man, we got y'all on phone calls and everything. What you mean? Your DNA under his nail. What you mean you ain't seen him about a year?
You just gonna keep lying, man. But like Dan said, man, it's whoever gonna make the first deal. That's who's gonna get the best deal.
Well, they're gonna make multiple deals. If you know anything about the feds want the big fish.
You're right.
They want to make an example.
So they're gonna try to see how many they could turn on BigU.
Informant.
Yeah.
So like all the no names, all the people that we don't know on this case, they're working to flip them so that we can get the big names out of here. So we can get the big U's, the brick babies, the loose cannons. They want those guys. They want the guys who was actually putting in
Work.
the physical harm, and that's going to make a big splash to the public media. And one thing I want to touch on, so people won't get this construed, when they say human trafficking, they're not saying in the sense of, as a lot of people know of, as you're moving bodies and you're selling young women or young boys. If you fly somebody to another state for sex, the feds will get you for human trafficking.
Facts. Bro, tell me why this guy filed for a PPP loan.
Now this gets tricky. This gets tricky, and it's funny you brought that up. This gets tricky. He said he filed for a PPP loan. Now he has a LLC for a nonprofit organization called Developing Options. Now the Fed says they believe this was a front for him to be able to launder money and to hide his true intentions on what he was doing. So the Fed said he was extorting money out of a lot of celebrities, using this as a front, using this this LLC, this nonprofit organization as a front
5013C. Yeah.
to I heard it was celebrities like Draymond Green, Shaq had given money
Yeah, the
to this
name of it is
organization.
Gang Reduction Youth Development, GRYD Foundation.
And so he's pushing to them like, man, I'm doing so many good things for the young people in the neighborhood. Why don't y'all look out? So they send him money thinking that, he's doing this and this for the neighborhood, and not knowing that this guy is being watched by the feds the whole time. Like Shaq and Draymond Green had no clue. So guess what's going to happen? The Fed's going to approach Shaq. They're going to approach Draymond Green. Did you give money to so-and-so, so-and-so?
And did you know
Did you know so-and-so, so-and-so? They just want a testimony of, did they give money to this?
Mm-hmm. Then they got federal funding and state funding for this. He got it stacked up against him, man, for sure.
Now, allegations are allegedly saying that they said BigU had been working with the state already as sort of as an informant. It's the reason why he's been getting away for so long. This is alleged of what's going on in the state of Cali, in South Central to be, exact. That he's been working with the state, and it started off as like, because they have gang injunctions in Cali, so strong that they can take you to jail if they see multiple people standing on the corner and it's deemed to look like a gang. They can take you to jail for that. Like, you don't gotta have no gun on you. You ain't gotta be doing nothing wrong. That's how strong their injunctions are. And so BigU, I heard, was help navigating these things with state police and et cetera, et cetera. And so some people was already leery that, man, he working with, with the police. He can put the police on you. If he can't get to you, he can put the police on you. This is alleged. This is what allegedly they were saying. Allegedly he did such thing to Nipsey Hussle. Allegedly. If all can remember, Nipsey was going to jail a lot, getting picked up, taken to county, as well as Black Sam, because allegedly BigU was trying to extort Nipsey because Nipsey was getting too big for the gang. He was becoming bigger than the gang. Nipsey was being known as the Rollin 60.
Yeah.
And all the young cats in the Rollin 60s looked up to Nipsey. Nipsey had a lot of pull. Nipsey had so much pull, and this is one that really allegedly pissed off Big U. Not too long before he passed, he did a video with John Legend and DJ Khaled. They wanted to shoot the video in Nipsey's neighborhood. Nipsey brought out DJ Khaled. Big U wanted to extort Khaled to say he has to pay to be to shoot in his neighborhood. Nipsey say no. We bringing Khaled and bet nobody touch him. And when Nipsey showed that type of power to be able to bring a celebrity into the ghetto, into his hood, and nobody touched him. And Rollin 60 is one of the biggest gangs in LA, in America.
Yeah.
And to have all adhere to Nipsey's words that Cali is off limits. We not robbing him. We not gonna try to strong arm him. And Cali was able to move around the hood on Nipsey's word. That rubbed Big U the wrong way. Then Big U understood, I got to get him out the way, because if not, we was gonna see probably one of the most craziest turnovers in a gang culture.
Yeah, that's crazy. You ready to show the clip?
But we can watch this video.
Breaking news just coming into our newsroom. 2 fugitives wanted by the FBI, including a longtime accused LA gang leader, now in custody tonight.
Let's get right to Mark Robles, who joins us now with new developments live in the newsroom. Mark?
Yeah, David and Ellen, good evening. We've been following this story throughout the day. Federal officers arrested more than a dozen members tied to the gang known as the Rollin 60s neighborhood Crips, though its leader was on the run. Well, within the last 20 minutes, the FBI announcing that man, Eugene Henley Jr., a.k.a. BigU, is now in custody. We have just learned new details that Henley turned himself in. Earlier, Air 7 was overhead
U.S.
as
Marshals out there.
gang members were being processed at the FBI's LA field office. 19 were indicted. The FBI says Henley headed up the local Crips gang for decades. Investigators say that he painted himself as an entertainment executive who's been giving back to the community with various charities, but they say Henley is a violent criminal. A woman who knew him says that he has had a positive impact on the community.
He was incredible, whether it was a 7-year-old child or a 50-year-old former gang member coming out of incarceration. His ability to communicate and relate was excellent. If these charges are true, because
I'm sorry. And she in the camera too. Boy. Talking about aging like milk.
But is she 45?
I would believe too. I believe it.
they're still allegations. They are not a done deal. They're allegations. If they're true, then Eugene Henley was somebody who presented two faces to this world.
Charges in this gang bust range from racketeering to murder. A second fugitive the FBI was looking for was also apprehended. The FBI says Henley is from the Hyde Park area of South LA. If convicted, he would face a max sentence of life in federal prison. We are told that he should be in court tomorrow. Live in the newsroom, Mark Robles, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. David, back to you.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown.
All right, Mark.
So, man, lady, do you think BigU gonna take you on strong arm missions? That's what gangsters do. They present two sides. You don't want to show civilians the dirt, especially not if you're trying to present yourself as a legit businessman.
Yeah.
You know, because who's going to want to get into business with a legit guy? But for every business that I heard that was posted up in the hood, they was paying BigU some tax. He was taxing them one way or another. It was one of those type of get down or lay down. And I heard if you didn't pay, he'll send them goons in there and they'll rob you. And then he'll call you and say, hey, if you want your stuff back, you gotta pay.
Yeah, he moved like he was old school mafia style. And you just never stopped to realize that the technology, the way they can bust them today, doing dirt, and he just continued just to move this way. Like there's no cameras in sight, there's no DNA, it's nothing. It's just I'm gonna do what I want to do, and that's that. And nobody's gonna do nothing to me. Nobody's gonna bust me. None of that. Instead of him looking around like these guys are, people are being busted with through technology. And then
not only that, man, he plays by a set of rules that only he plays by.
Facts.
This whole no snitching thing, like for people who stand on that, like you're the only one standing on that.
Even back then, they were snitching back then.
But what I'm saying is, you have the evidence of technology now, and you have the snitching. Like the feds ain't coming, bro, unless they got something.
Facts.
The feds don't swing in the dark. They're not like state. State to come pick you up and hoping you tell on yourself.
Hope something sticks.
Feds don't do that. That's why they have a 98 conviction rate, because they don't swing in the dark. That's why when most people get picked up by the feds, they make a deal.
Nah, man, this.
And people didn't want to believe it, but BigU, allegedly, he did the hit on Nipsey.
Allegedly. Now, it's always been ties back to him, when this happened back in, was it 2020 now?
Just think about it, guys.
Longer than that.
What gangbanger is going to go broad daylight, put himself at risk of not only getting caught for shooting this guy, but also potentially getting himself killed, and then also potentially pissing off a whole host of other gang members?
Facts.
Over nothing.
Because your pride would hurt.
And from the people who were standing there, the way the conversation went was he approached Nipsey about helping him on some music. And Nipsey said, yeah, we can do that, but you got some stuff on your name that you need to get taken care of first. Do that and then come back and holler at me, is what Nipsey said.
Yeah.
And the guy said, okay. So the conversation ended like that. They're not thinking. I'm pretty sure if the conversation was hostile, I'm pretty sure they would have been alert. Like, hey, man, watch out, because, buddy,
Yeah. So my thing is now with this on his jacket, BigU's jacket, how do you think this is going to translate behind bars now, as far as his say or his power?
I mean, it's going to translate the same. I mean,
people in the
gang, people outside in the gang ties, they knew he was behind that.
I'm just saying, do you think he had the same pull with this on him now as he would if it wasn't tied into something like with Nipsey or like one of their own?
I believe so. I believe he'll have the same type of pull. I mean, because it's even more dangerous now. It's even more dangerous on the street than it is in locked up, because locked up, there is no pistol play.
Right.
Yeah, you have blades, but there's no pistol play. Like, if somebody was gonna get Big U, it'd probably been easier to get him out versus getting him, while he's locked up. He's gonna have some guys that are gonna stay loyal to him. Then he's gonna have some guys that ain't gonna want to fool with him because you can't trust him.
Right.
Big U is the type of guy, he wants to rule with the iron fist and of fear. And the one person who dared to buck him, he had to move out the way. And that was Nipsey. And even through this whole everything, there was even rumors and speculations that they was trying to what they call DP Nipsey, which is if you make a violation towards the gang, they jump you as a discipline.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, Nipsey accepted the DP. But Black Sam heard about it and showed up. And he pulled out a gun and was like, "Yeah, I touched my brother. I'm capping you, basically. I will shoot you." And that made Big U mad. Even Big U came out on the interview and said, I don't blame Black Sam. That's my brother. I probably did the same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
Your brother's a celebrity, and they finna have 7 to 8 people just jump on him.
Nah. Can't go like that.
All because his ego hurt.
Yeah.
Because somebody now in the gang has just as much cachet or just as much power, if not more power than you have.
Yeah.
And they sent somebody on a crash out mission who had a snitch jacket, and he wanted to get back into good standings with the gang. And this is what he was sent out to do. Who else go do a kill like this for no money? Man, this is stuff, man. It's a crazy world, man. It's crazy. And then the crazy thing about the RICO, you can go to jail for conspiracy.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's scariest the most is conspiracy, conspiring to do something. Or having knowledge of. Like, you knew he was doing this, you had knowledge that he was doing this. We can lock you up for that. Man, this is crazy, man. But, man, we're going to segue, man, because the feds are still busy, man. And the feds just got busy in Dallas. That's where me and John is from, man. We were born and raised in Dallas. So, of course, we know a little bit more about this story than what's going on in Cali. But we're going to play the video for y'all. For those who don't know, a lot of people don't know who Yellow Beezy is and who Mo3 is. So we'll play this video so you guys can get a little understanding of what's going on here.
With breaking news in Dallas, where rapper Yellow Beezy has been arrested and accused of orchestrating the murder of another rapper in 2020.
Rapper Mo3 was gunned down on I-35E. Images of a gunman on the freeway were widely shared at the time. NBC5's Allie Spilliards joins us with more on the arrest. What do you know, Allie?
Brian and Brittany, on Tuesday, a grand jury indicted rapper Yellow Beezy, otherwise known as Marquise Conway, with capital murder while remuneration in connection to the 2020 shooting death of Mo3. Today, Conway was booked into the Dallas County Jail. A grand jury referral says Conway hired a man named Keywan White to kill Melvin Noble, also known as Mo3. Noble was killed in a brazen attack on I-35 near Marsalis Avenue on November 11, 2020. Police say Noble stopped on the freeway when a dark-colored vehicle approached him. They say that's when the man in the other vehicle got out of his car with a gun and began walking towards Noble's car. Noble then got out and ran away. Investigators say the armed man chased Noble and fired several shots, hitting him at least once. A second person in a nearby car was also struck but survived. Now, up until now, Keywan White and another man named Devin Brown had been indicted on a murder charge linked to that shooting. While police have said White is the suspected shooter, they said Brown was upset over a relationship. As for Yelabeezy's alleged involvement, police have not given a potential motive.
She needs some sleep.
She do. Should have tired.
Man. Like I said, man, this is our hometown. Dallas, man. Mo3 was in a long time feud, man, with Yelabeezy. A couple of other guys, Trap Boy Freddy, a couple of guys from Fort Worth as well. And this story here, man, is a story of tragedy, man. It just all ended tragic. There were no winners in this. As you can see, I heard Yelabeezy made bond. It was $2 million. So I heard he made bond.
He bonded out. Okay.
But there's no winners in this, man. Yelabeezy is potentially going away, if not for the rest of his life, for a huge portion of his life. There's a high probability that's going, because they said they have a key witness in this case, and that's Keywan White, the alleged gunman, the one who killed Mo3 on the highway. I heard he struck a deal once they started talking about, capital murder. What's that?
He got 9 years.
He got 9 years for corroborating.
And they just paid on a gun charge.
He was picked up on a gun charge. And once the Mo3 case came forward, and they started talking about, lethal injection and death penalty and life, no parole, it didn't sit right with it. So he started making a deal, and it was already rumors out that somebody was cooperating. They didn't know who at the time, but it was rumors out that somebody was cooperating, and it could fall down on whoever was the head of the snake, who put the money on Mo3's head. And this is so diabolical, because this young man here, he's an interesting young man. He's had ties with Yelabeezy. You can see them in photos from way back in the day. And this young man has been known to really like transgender women. Allegedly, he's been known to like transgender. I believe he was picked up on assault on a transgender. I heard he put his hands on a transgender. Man, you take your hands off that transgender. You take your hands off that transgender right now. Put your hands on that transgender.
Gonna make that transgender transform.
I hear.
Hey.
I hear abusing the transgender, man. That ain't no lady.
Oh, boy.
You sitting there abusing the man, and it's a tricky thing. That's why I say it's diabolical, because I think he know what he's doing, because he figured, if I get with a transgender, she dressed like a woman, and if we ever have any altercation, I can beat him up, because he really a dude. It's diabolical.
Well.
Now he's corroborating, and now Yellow Beezy is now caught up in the crosshairs. So this story here stems out, man, because Mo3, up and coming rapper, from North Dallas. Yellow Beezy was an up and coming rapper. He was a little bit more established at the time, coming from Oak Cliff, Trapper Freddy, Oak Cliff. And also all the guys in Fort Worth, Go Yayo, all those guys from Fort Worth. At one point in time, all these guys were cool, which is the crazy thing. You can see videos of them on stage together, in photos together. And boy, when I say it went south, it got sour quick. And it all stems from, it got a little toxic because people were saying Mo3 wasn't from North Dallas. They were saying he was from McKinney, right? It's a thing that goes on in every hood where it's like, man, you ain't really from the hood, you know. And so the thing that happened with that is Mo3 did stay in North Dallas, but his mom ended up moving to McKinney. And so Mo3 would go back and forth from McKinney to North Dallas. And so that's kind of how that got, shaken up there. But what really shook things up, man, is what happened in Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm.
Mo3 had got into it with Go Yayo prior to his concert in Fort Worth. Mo3 goes, with a prayer on him. He goes to Fort Worth to do this show. After he does the show, Go Yayo's outside with a whole lot of people in Fort Worth. Now, Mo3 ain't from Fort Worth. He on touring. He on unknown territory. This is, Dallas and Fort Worth. They're not linked like that. It's two different. Yeah, it's two different entities. If you're from the Metroplex, like it ain't linked like that.
Yeah.
I don't care if they do say the DF-Dub. It ain't.
It's all in
water.
From
Dallas, you from Dallas. You're from Dallas. You from Fort Worth. You're from Fort Worth.
Yeah.
So that's how that goes. So Mo3 is out there doing the show. Yellow Beezy pulls up, and they're basically blocking him from basically leaving. And there's a whole host of people outside. Mo3 shows up. He only has a few people with him. So Mo3 did what he said in his raps. Mo3, shot his way out of there. Ends up killing one of Go Yayo's friends. 3 gets out. It becomes a big thing. 3 ends up getting picked up they tried to charge him with murder. 3 beats it. He beats it on the self-defense route. But there was bad tension now. Now it's bad tension. And now it goes from, what are the guys in Dallas gonna do? Are they gonna back Mo3? Or are they gonna continue to back Go Yayo? And this all started with one individual. His name is Trap Boy Freddy. He's from Oak Cliff. And Trap Boy Freddy basically stance was he didn't want to be in it. He wanted to stay neutral. That was kind of Trap Boy Freddy take on it. Like, hey, I want to be cool with you 3, but I'm still gonna be cool with Go Yayo. And 3 just wasn't going for it. After what had happened, 3 just wasn't going for it, man. And so Trap Boy Freddy did a song or album called Pick 6. where he took 6 of the top rappers and they was on this album, and they left off Mo 3. But they left all 3 because 3 didn't want to be on there with Go Yayo. And that's where the kind of bad blood spurned between 3 and Freddie. Now, Yella Beezy kind of got thrown into the mix because him and Freddie was like best friends at one point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And words have it that 3 was already picking at Yella Beezy because he felt like Beezy wasn't like that. Yella Beezy starts talking back, and Yella Beezy ends up getting into it with one of 3's friends, which was Roy Lee.
I went to school with Roy Lee.
Words has it that Roy Lee ends up getting jumped on by some of Yella Beezy's guys in a club. Roy Lee goes on a marathon rant that he wants his one-on-one fight, and then we can squash it. And then he went on, hey, let's do a charity bout. Let's put money up, 10K, 20K, or whatever. Let's do a charity. That way, no guns got to get involved. Nobody got to get really hurt. That way, this can be squashed. Yella Beezy wasn't for it. He didn't want to do that. Long and behold, Roy Lee ends up getting shot. There was speculation that Yella was behind it. But Roy Lee didn't die. He ended up getting up out the hospital and ended up trying to travel too soon, ended up getting a blood clot, ended up cardiac arrest, et cetera, et cetera. 3 took it hard. And from that point on, 3 was on go mode. 3 ended up, it was basically 3 versus Dallas in a sense, because at this time, Yella Beezy was becoming the star of Dallas at this time. He was getting ready to have his big hit, That's On Me.
Mm-hmm.
3 didn't care. 3 started to apply pressure. 3 was up and coming too. And 3 was the more talented of the bunch. But he was also the more ruthless of the bunch. And they couldn't beat him in no facets. They couldn't beat him on a music tip. They couldn't beat him in the streets. They couldn't beat him on talking online. If you ever watched his online shows, it was funny. But when he was antagonizing them. Now, by no means is 3 innocent in all this. He's very, 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 guilty in this and playing, in the streets. If you play in the streets, this is what happens. He allegedly ended up shooting, Yella Beezy ended up getting shot up, and his G-Wagon ended up getting shot up on the toll road. And it was allegedly that it was 3. And then 3 goes and make a song about it on Roy Lee's birthday. And so that sparked a whole lot of stuff. It was a whole lot of tension. And so things kept spiraling out of control. But this is where 3 messed up. There's only so much that you can push a cat into a corner before that cat either jumps up and bites you or a cat comes out scratching and fighting.
Yeah.
He was pushing those guys in so much of a corner till they really had no choice but to click up and get him out the way, because he was becoming such a nuisance. Like Trap Boy Freddy say, man, 3 popped out of the ditch on us, and man, he was shooting at us. This is what Trap said. His thing. 3
was a menace.
he was becoming such a menace that, you know, they had no choice. And then he became even more menace when another one of his friends got gunned down, and his name, they called him Bubba. Bubba was from Dixon Circle, which is a region in the South Dallas area.
Sunny South Dallas, yeah.
Bubba ends up getting gunned down at a convenience store, which was another alleged hit by Yellow Beezy, allegedly. And that put Mo 3, if he wasn't going hard, he went harder. And I mean, he was targeting those guys, you know, really trying to knock those guys off. And then he was antagonizing them about it online. And so they had no choice, because guys were saying, man, they scared of 3. Because for those who don't remember, when Trap Boy Freddy, before any bloodshed had happened, when Trap Boy and Freddy and 3 got into it, 3 pulls up on Trap in the area where I grew up, on Beckley, in Sana.
Shout out.
You know, I went to school over. I went to Russell. I went to Story. So in that area, he pulls up on Trap, and he said, "Let's fight." 3 pulls up. Trap didn't want to come outside at first. Trap ends up coming outside, but Trap comes outside with a gun. Trap said he ain't fighting. And they just kind of even spiral things even more out of control. But 3 was such a menace. 3 is in his face talking trash while this guy got the gun.
That's diabolical there.
And that's why people saying they were scared of 3, because, man, here's this guy here. He's in your face talking trash to you in your face while you're holding a gun. Which most people, when they see that, they would kind of back down, like, man, whatever.
I'll catch you another time.
And try to move out the way. 3 was like he's contemplating, like, man, can I get off on him before he can get this gun up? That's how 3 was kind of pressing him. If you see the video, 3 got his fist balled up, like, man, can I get off on him?
Let me ask you this, bro. With so many moving parts in this big web here, and it's well known that one of his most close associates is Errol Spence Jr.
That's another. It's funny you brought that up. Go ahead.
With them being so close, how close is he in this? Because even his crash that he had back,
we're gonna get into that.
It's some
now there was speculation that he was with Yellow Beezy on putting money on 3 Head. From the words of Rainwater, and this is not allegedly, this has come from Rainwater's mouth, and this is Mo 3's manager, that 3 was bullying or picking on Spence because they lived in the same apartment complex. But Earl Spence grew up with Rainwater in the same neighborhood in the Cedar Hill area.
Duncanville area, yeah.
And so Rainwater's telling 3 kind of back off of him, like, bro, like, back off of him. And 3 at the time, he wasn't hearing none of that. So every time he would see Earl, he's pressing him. And Earl, probably kind of scared of him.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And so it was speculation that he had to get him out the way, and then I think it was even more double down because if you watch the video, Earl Spence crash. The same car that Mo3 was killed in, or he was driving while he was killed in, it passes by 2 seconds later. That same gold Honda passes by as Earl Spence's car is tumbling and flipping over. You see Mo3 alleged car passes by. And the rumor has it is that Earl Spence was speeding, not because he was just driving reckless. He was speeding because Mo3 was on him. And allegedly, Mo3 was chasing him, had followed him from the club like he did Yellow Beezy, allegedly. That's how Beezy got shot up, because Mo3 waited outside the club, and Mo3 waited till he got in the car, and they followed him. And he was doing the same thing to Earl Spence. Now, I don't know if there was gunfire that was, I don't know if they were shooting at him and he was, getting out of there. But the video does show a gold Honda riding past.
Like the one off of 35?
Like the same gold Honda Mo3 was in when he got killed. And when that happened and Earl Spence almost died, I think that was the final straw when they said we got to do whatever we need to do to get Buddy out the way. Because it's a matter of time before he is successful on getting us out the way.
Yeah.
Mo3 was going at all of them. That's why I said it was almost like Dallas versus Mo3. He was gunning at all of them. And we all know the streets and gangster don't mix with entertainment. We know it don't mix. We seen it from Death Row on down. Anybody who has been active in the streets and trying to do entertainment, it just don't work out. It just don't. And this is such a sad situation. Mo3 ended up having gold albums, and he's seen none of it. And then this is a sad situation for Dallas because of the spotlight that was on Dallas at the time was bright. And how many doors this could have opened for a lot of artists coming out of Dallas. Because Dallas was going through a dry spell of having, the spotlight of having talent coming out of there. And I believe that Mo3 had the talent to put Dallas on possibly a global spotlight. Like, we have a lot of hits come out of Dallas.
Yeah.
But not, Mo3 could have been a global artist. But like I said, it's a sad situation. Mo3, was playing in the streets. The other characters, man, they were playing in the streets, man, and everybody lost.
Yeah.
Two things happen, man, when you play in the streets. Either you're going to jail or you're going to die. You stay in the streets long enough, those are your ends, man. It don't cost to be a criminal. Just don't cost. There's no reward. You're doing all this stuff based off of ego. John, we lost you. You froze there. You know, we lost John. He'll be back in a minute. But, you know, they did all this stuff, man, based off of ego, based off of pride, and based off of receiving some kind of admiration and love from people that don't even know them. Just so that people can say, you know, they real, they about that. I want to be about that. I want to show people I'm like that. Now your kids are without a father because you want to show other people that you're about that instead of showing your kids like, nah, I'm about that. I'm about that so much that I'm going to be around in your life. I'm going to be here to raise you. I'm going to be here to make sure that you're going to be a better young man, a young lady than I was. Like, man, this stuff, man, we've been saying this for a long time, man. This has to stop, man. And obviously it's not going to stop because it's a disease. It's a drug. And these young guys, man, are thriving off of this, man. You know, now you have a whole wave of called drill culture where, you know, people are so eager to kill somebody, to quote unquote catch a body. And it's a disease, man. It's a sickness, man, to where they're doing this thing as almost like a sport. And it's like, and you get tricked off the streets. You go to prison and you realize you're sitting there doing 20, 30 years, 40 years, some people longer. You realize how stupid it was, but you don't throw your life away. Trying to be real. Trying to be accepted, trying to get admiration and love from people who don't even know you or who don't even care about you. And this disease has plagued, man. It's plagued the culture, man. It's almost like this is all hip hop has become. It's all it's about now. This drill culture, this killing culture. Like you're nothing unless you got bodies, unless you claim you got bodies. Like, man, it's ridiculous, man. I feel sorry for the children in this, man. Mo3 kids, Yellow kids, you know, all the individuals who are involved, man. Those kids are going to suffer because you wanted to be real. You wanted to prove to people that you were like that. So much so that you was willing to sacrifice yourself from your kids. Man, I always say this, man, and I tell my wife this. If you want to be a criminal, man, don't have a family.
Facts.
Live a life of solitude. Put yourself through that on your own. You're already going to put your mama through some crazy mess. But tell your mama, don't be here for me. If I get locked up, mama, don't try to bail me out. Live that life on your own. Take your own self through that. You go to prison, take your own self through that. Don't have no children where they got to come visit you in and out of prison, in jail. Nobody out here to guide them. Don't take your mama through that. Don't take your lady, your wife through that. If you living a life like that, man, live that on your own. That ain't no life to be shared. It ain't nothing but a pathway to death that you just drag everybody along, right along with you. Just think about it. All Mo3 family, friends, kids, they got a chance to experience his his death, his whole death experience, from every crazy thing he did. Now you got Yella getting caught up. His kids now going to experience every crazy thing that happened. They finna hear about it all now because it's going to go to trial.
Yeah.
Everything's finna be brought out to the light now. All the speculation is finna be over. There ain't gonna be no more speculation about what it is, what it ain't. Because you're finna go to trial. And they got a star witness, quote unquote, the shooter, who said he got text messages of Yella Beezy putting this hit out. He said he got text messages. He said he got wire transfers. If he got that, it's over. Because now it's about his word. They got concrete evidence.
Yeah, you can't deny, man.
Man, this is the thing, man, that we accept, man. We're accepting this in the neighborhoods, man. Man, these kids, man, now, man, kids can't even go out and play no more. Like, man, I'd be so scared to let my kids go outside.
Facts.
I stay in the suburb. I stay in the suburb. And I remember being outside by myself all the time when I was young. Well, I'm talking about when I was like 5, 6 years old.
Everywhere.
Ripping and running in the apartments, up and down the streets. I remember walking to the park by myself, 10 years old, in Oak Cliff, walking to Beckley.
Yep.
I used to walk to school sometime, walking to Russell.
Now it's a walk there, boy. I walked that walk to Russell. That's a walk.
I walked to Story. That's a long walk.
That's a walk.
I walked to Story. But doing this on my own, by myself. But man, we gotta clean up, guys. We gotta do better, man. And we gotta do better on what we accept. We just accepted anything, man. We accepted anything as entertainment.
That's a fact.
We don't care nothing about consequences.
Until they hear.
You know. It's crazy. Some people are riding for more 3. Some people are riding for Yella Beezy. Some people don't care. Here at this show, man, we are in the middle because there are no winners, there are no losers. It don't make sense to ride for anybody.
It don't.
And I'm with, and I'm gonna make my stance clear. I'm with whatever happens to Yella Beezy. If he did this, he should be punished. Mo 3, he was a menace. He got what was coming to him. I'm just gonna keep it straight real like that. If Mo 3 was out here shooting at people, gunning at people, he got what was coming to him. Yella Beezy out here putting money on people's head, get what's coming to him. If you're doing crime, you get what comes with crime. And that's death or jail. That's what comes with it. So if you're doing crime, you need to be able to accept both of those.
That's a fact.
I don't do crime.
So I'm a civilian.
If you do something to me, the laws will be involved. Just gonna tell you. You break in my house, I will shoot you, and then I will call police. Just gonna tell you. Law-abiding citizens don't go by the street rules. I don't govern myself like that. I govern myself by rules that win. And street rules, they don't win. Now, Yellow Beezy probably gonna try to keep it real. He probably ain't gonna say nothing. And he gonna lose. Keeping it real.
What was that thing when keeping it real goes wrong?
When keeping it real goes wrong. Key One Right realized, man, hey, keeping it real don't win. If Key One Right, if he kept it real, he was gonna be the only loser.
Yeah.
Because they had no solid concrete evidence on Yellow Beezy. There was always speculation. But there's a reason why he hadn't been picked up. Yeah. They kept trying to get him on something. He would get picked up for a gun. He'd get picked up for this, for that. They kept trying to get him on something. Yeah. Until Key One White said, hey, man, I was hired to do this. The Fed said, oh, who hired you? Yeah. His rap name Yellow Beezy. So allegedly, I think he allegedly paid him so much up front. So that's where the wire transfers come in. That's what they said. They got wire transfer. Now we know you're supposed to be dealing in cash. Now we know.
Thank you.
We know you're supposed to be dealing in cash. We know this. That's a whole Jussie Smollett episode. You doing crimes with checks.
Just
pay for my crimes electronically.
Gotta write out for my taxes.
So I can write this off. I'm gonna write this body off. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna kill him. Then I'm gonna write him off on my taxes.
I'm gonna write him off.
Can I carry him? Can I carry him?
Can I carry a body?
I don't know. I gotta ask my tax attorney.
Send me your wire information.
Send your wire information. I think I can write it off. The homie said I could. I think I'm gonna write it off. I'm gonna try. He's smart. He does his own taxes.
Oh my goodness.
Send the wire information. He sends the wire information allegedly. And then this is another one I don't get. Why are you using your own cell phone for communication? This was a whole crash out dummy mission from the jump. And I don't just mean the actions. I mean the people are complete idiots. You doing crime, man. And you talking about business on your own cell phone.
Yeah.
And it sounds like homeboy kept up with this stuff just in case it went south. For a way out. Now, what's going to happen is if the Feds got a concrete case, they won't make a deal with him. But if they don't, they're gonna try to make a deal with Yellow Beezy.
I mean, if they got wire transfers, I mean,
I'm saying just how the feds are all about a win. So the feds, if they can avoid court, they will. If they can assure a win,
getting a plea,
if they can get you to take a plea deal, if they can get you to take that 20 years, 25, they'll take it. They're all about that.
Yeah.
That's why I said it ain't nothing but losers in this situation. Now, I heard there's going to be a lot come out, even about the girl who allegedly helped set up 3. Who house he left from, where he was followed from. Now, allegedly, they said these boys waited outside that house all night long.
And he was the second guy was salty because that was his old lady. Who's making love?
So I think he joined
old lady.
I think he joined in it on that tip. Now Mo3 was antagonizing him as well. Allegedly. Mo3 is taking pictures with his son. Mo3 got his chains all on his son.
Come on, man. Yeah.
Now, allegedly, they wanted to get 3 at the house, at the where she stayed at.
Mm-hmm.
This is alleged. But for whatever reason, they was either talked out of it, probably because there was kids in there. I don't know if 3 had his gun in there and they was worried about a shootout. You know, either a kid getting hit, something getting hit, or whatever.
Yeah.
So they allegedly waited on him all night. They had a camp. They camped out. They played tons of Candy Crush. Had tons of crossword puzzles. Ate tons of Big Macs. Sipping coffee and slushies all night long. Waiting on 3 to come out. Now this is a long wait. You talking about all night. 3 doesn't leave until around 10 that morning. So you're camped outside all night long. 3 gets out. He gets in the car, begins to drive. Now, this is when things kind of get fuzzy. Because now 3 is driving. And I'm not sure if he was in the car alone. This is where it kind of gets fuzzy. Or did he have a young lady in the car with him? I'm unsure. But what I am sure of is 3 gets wind that he's being followed. So 3 gets in the ideal of he realizes he's being followed. He hops on the interstate. Which in most terms will probably be the smartest thing to do. Unless there's rush hour traffic.
And 35 got plenty of that.
And just 3 luck. He hops on the interstate. He's driving and he runs into traffic. Now, for anybody who knows where he's driving at on 35, when you're riding 35 and you're going towards downtown, you're going to run into traffic. You're going to definitely run into traffic. So 3 gets into a situation to where now you kind of, you can't really drive as fast as you want to drive or as free as you want to drive. And allegedly, I heard there was multiple cars who were in aid of this, from what I've heard. I heard they end up kind of trying to box him in. And then, as we see on the video, a Camaro just cuts in front of him and just cuts him off altogether.
Yeah.
They begin to start shooting. 3 gets out the car. Now, this is where the story gets fuzzy again. 3 is known to carry a gun, but he's known to carry a gun in a stash spot because 3 is a convicted felon. Can't have a gun. So if he gets pulled over and he gets caught with a gun on him, he's going to jail automatically because he's a convicted felon. 3 allegedly goes around the car. You can see him on the video. He calmly walks around the car. He's not running. He walks around the car. And it looks like he's trying to get the gun out of the stash spot. Now, some stash spots, they only open if the car is either in park, the car maybe is turned off. It's something that triggers them for you to be able to open it. Now, I don't know if 3 couldn't get it open or ran out of time to try to get it open, or if he opened it and the gun wasn't in there. This was another speculation that 3 gun was taken out of the stash spot.
Shout out Rainwater.
This is another alleged speculation that 3 went to get the gun, but the gun wasn't there. And that's when 3 took off running because he understood the gun ain't here. I believe if 3 knew the gun wasn't there, I believe he would have ran from the get-go. I believe he just would have got out the car and just booked it instead of trying to go around the car and try to get the gun. I believe if he was able to get the gun, I believe he'd still be here. Because now you can duck behind the car, you can fire back. More than likely, they're gonna probably retreat. There's a higher probability of you making it.
Yeah.
But the turn is, if that gun wasn't in there, Mo3 expected that gun to be in there. Who took the gun out?
Shout out to Rainwater.
A co-host is alluding to something. Allegedly.
I just said shout out to him. That's all I said. Just shout out to him.
Some say, the streets say Rainwater played a part in this of removing the gun. Some said the young lady did. There's a whole lot of speculation and gray area in this area. Some say the young lady did. Once 3 fell asleep, some say she went out and removed it. Some say Rainwater pulled up and helped them remove the gun as 3 is sleeping. There's a whole lot of speculation on what happened to this gun. The reason why Rainwater name was brought up is because some believe that he would probably be the only one that knew exactly where the gun was and how to get it out. Most stash spots, you have to know how to trigger them open. It's like a safe.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody can give you the safe, unless you know the combination or unless you know how to trigger it open. You'll basically be in there trying to pick it or trying to pry it open. So that was a lot of gray area there. And people were saying, man, you know, Rain did this. And then for the final say on this, man, Rain said he was on the phone as Mo3 is being followed. Now, from the words of it, Mo3 sound pretty calm. Now, some would say, why is he so calm if he's being followed and then he's eventually being shot at? Rainwater said he calls him, he picks up, and he said 3 says, man, they following me. And so Rain like, who? And then not too long after, he said, man, they shooting at me. And then Rain says, man, who? Where you at? And he says he can hear Mo3 moving around. And then sooner or later he hears Mo3 running, and then he don't hear nothing else. Now some say he was so calm because he got a firearm. But he also know that I don't have it in arm's reach.
Right.
Some say they pulled a hit because they knew Mo3 didn't have a gun on him because they took it. Some say that that's why it took so long for them to get 3, because he was always armed and they didn't know if he had it on him. If they were walking to an ambush, they coming to do a hit and he starts firing back.
Yeah.
But this day they felt comfortable to know he don't have no firearm. Because this individual got out on the expressway and begins to walk Mo3 down. And he's walking down with the chopper.
Like it's the Wild Wild West.
And it's a freeway. It's a bunch of cars.
5-lane highway.
Mo3 would have been better off crawling in between them cars. Now, speculation has it that he was just running. But at the end of the day, man, it's a sad situation, man. John, what you got to say, man, before we get up out of here, man?
Man, yeah, it is a sad situation all the way around. Also, we didn't mention, Mo3 leave behind. He had children.
Yeah, we talked on it earlier. He left kids, man.
And kids, they no longer had, their father's gone. I know some issues going on with his publishing and things of that nature. I'm not sure how that is, if that's resolved or if it's not.
I think they got it. I think they got it kind of rectified.
So, things with that. So, but growing up without, their father and things of that nature. But it's even playing the way that they're playing, man. Is no one wins in the end, man. No one wins in the end. And even though Mo3, his murder was, years ago, it still comes full circle. So if Yellow Beezy, if he's the one behind it, he's gonna have to pay the piper, man. And then especially the way if this is tied together, those wire transfers, you got everything that's coming to you, man. Everything that's coming to you, man, because I mean, come on, man. It's just, it's enough out here for everybody, man. You got your lane, you had this lane, y'all could have came together, did some things, man, and and put Dallas on the map in a positive manner, man. But now, with Mo3, he's gone, and then now you're possibly gonna be sent down the river behind that, allegedly. It's crazy, man. But yeah, man, that's the crazy world we live in, man, especially here in Dallas, man. I know it happens in other major cities and things of that nature, don't get me wrong, but with us being born and raised in Dallas, man, it's crazy. And we've seen the turmoil and some violence and things of that nature just growing up in especially that area where it kind of happened. We didn't stay far from that. That's literally 5 minutes up the road.
Yeah, near the Dallas Zoo.
Near the Dallas Zoo. We literally stayed up the street from the Dallas Zoo. So, but yeah, man, that it's crazy, man. And then also, out west, man, with BigU, you being 60 and you still out here, running the way you're running, man.
Man, they working hard for they worked hard for this, man. So we can't be mad.
You can't be mad at it.
At the outcome, man, because they put in work for it.
Mm-hmm. So especially over here, let that be known. We're not saying no free BigU, none of that. You moving like that, man.
You work for it, man.
You worked for it. That's what you get, man.
I applaud you. You got exactly what you worked for.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And so,
Man,
hopefully
for all the young people out there, man, stop.
Stop. It is not worth it. It is not worth it. How many more examples do we need for people to see, man, to stop moving like this? It doesn't win, man.
They can't help it, man. It's a disease, man. This clout, man, is a disease, man.
It is a disease.
To be known as a gangster, to be known as a shooter, to be known as this, man, they're hypnotized with this clout, man, this kind of cachet they can walk around with, and they want people to be scared of them. They want to be revered in a certain way, and it's just like, man, when I grew up, like, it was just uncommon, man, for kids to do some of the things that kids are doing now.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't hear a lot of stories of 13-year-olds blowing people's brains out. Now you got 13, 14-year-olds out there, man. They don't kill 4 or 5 people.
YNs. That's what they calling them now, YNs.
And it's like, man, like, you didn't hear people getting active like that until much later.
Yeah.
Where they was getting active 18, 19 years old, maybe 17 years old. But man, we got literally babies, man, just fresh out of elementary school.
That's crazy.
Just think about it. Just fresh out of elementary school, man, who's probably got multiple bodies. Who you probably should be afraid of.
Yeah. Sad but true. Sad but true.
And a lot of this has become because, man, we have bad parents. We got a parenting problem. That's why it's like this.
Broken homes.
Look how you raised. That's why it's like this. That's why you kill it without a conscience. That's why you can kill people that you don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, we got people getting killed over lane changing. people getting killed because you stepped on my shoes. Or I even know some people get killed, man, because you looked at me wrong. What you looking at? Looking at you. Paul.
Yeah, man. It's like, one of my, childhood friends that, I went to middle school and high school with, man. Years ago, I think it's back in 2014. And he was killed. Trying to help someone out, help a lady out that was getting beat down by a man. And then they came back and shot up his house with him and his children in it. With him just trying to, create some peace and stop the violence. Just it's senseless, man. It is senseless, man. But yeah, it comes back to, man, these broken homes, man, lack of parenting. Man, it just day by day, man, I'm more grateful. I become more and more grateful, man, on all the things that our parents didn't let us get into.
Man, I hate it, man. But church kept us out of a lot of trouble.
It kept us out of a lot. And it was it was an imbalance, but at the same time, man, it saved our lives.
Man, make sure your child is busy doing constructive stuff, man, as they're growing up. Idle time, man, is a worst nightmare, man, for anybody. To have just free time, the things that your mind can come up with is crazy, and a lot of it's gonna be negative.
That's a fact.
If you have a bunch of idle time, man, it is not good for you. And it's even worse for a child.
Devil workshop.
Exactly. It's not biblical. But
it's not, but
it's very true.
Very true.
That an idle mind is a devil's workshop. These kids, all they do is go to school, come home. Go to school, come home. Like they don't have things to do, like sports and all kind of stuff they need to be in. Church.
Yep. That's a fact, man.
They don't have a curfew. They just stay out as long as they want to. You got 14-year-olds out however long they want to be out.
Man, boy, we would have died if we was out past that street light.
I know some 8-year-olds who be out late, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Yeah, outside. What you think gonna happen? You're gonna get into some stuff.
Yeah. It's a fact.
They want to be accepted. It's a crazy thing, man, when you don't even feel accepted in your own household. So you go look for acceptance in other places.
Validation.
When you don't feel validated or accepted in your household, you don't feel validated or accepted at school, you don't feel validated or accepted in church or around family members. You got a child who's yearning to be accepted and validated. And you have the streets with open arms saying, we'll validate you and accept you. All you got to do is catch a body.
Misery loves company.
They catch a body. Now they get the thrill of it. I like how this feels. It's a rush. Power. I feel powerful. I feel like people are scared of me. Man, do a better job with your children, man. Validate your children, man. Raise your kids, man. Raise them to be better. Give your children some structure, man, some values. Give your child some restrictions.
Facts.
Man, but that's all we have to say about this, man. It is what it is. It's a sad day. But unfortunately, you know, will get the results that you're looking for. Man, with that being said, man, thank you guys for rocking with us, man. Follow us on all social media platforms, man, and let that be known. Remember, it don't cost you nothing to like, share, subscribe, man. Please do that for us, man. As we keep rolling, we're going to keep bringing these bangers for you, man. Keep rocking with us, man. We love y'all, man. Peace out. Reap what you sow, man.